Before history was written in books, it was written in the dust of the earth and the light of the sun. Tonight, we are going to travel back, far back, to a time when philosophers sat under olive trees and dreamed of the invisible. We will walk through the corridors of history, following a trail of tiny sparks. Let your mind wander as we uncover the mystery of the atom, a story not just of science, but of the eternal, unbreakable threads that weave our reality together. As you lie here tonight, let your body sink deeper into the mattress, feeling the gentle weight of the blanket settling over you like a soft cloud. Safe and warm in this quiet space where the demands of the day have finally ceased to exist, and all that remains is the rhythmic rise and fall of your own breath, which acts as an anchor, keeping you tethered to this moment of absolute peace, while your mind begins to drift away from the noise of the world outside. Imagine for a moment that the room around you is dissolving into a soft velvet darkness, not a scary darkness, but a comforting embrace like the night sky wrapping itself around the earth. And in this stillness, you begin to sense the presence of the world beyond your walls, a world that is vast and ancient and filled with a quiet magic that has been at work since the very dawn of time. Visualize the great forests of the American Northwest, where ancient redwoods stand like silent sentinels under the moonlight, their roots digging deep into the cool, damp earth, and their branches reaching up towards the stars. And imagine the slow, steady pulse of sap running through their trunks, a life force that is invisible to the naked eye, but undeniable in its power. Now let your mind wander from the forests to the oceans. Imagine the vast Atlantic or the calm Pacific stretching out towards the horizon, the water moving in a ceaseless rhythm of tides created by the pull of the moon. And think about how that water feels, cool and fluid, slipping through fingers. And yet it is heavy and powerful, capable of carving canyons out of stone over millions of years. Everything you see in your mind's eye, from the tallest mountain peak dusted with snow to the smallest grain of sand on a lonely beach, is part of a grand design, a magnificent structure that seems solid and unbreakable. But if we were to look closer, much closer than our eyes can see, we would discover that this solidity is an illusion, a beautiful trick of nature, because everything is woven from invisible threads. This is the invisible tapestry of the universe, a fabric so delicate and yet so strong that it holds the entire cosmos together. And tonight, we are going to explore the threads that make up this tapestry, the tiny particles that dance in the heart of every star and in the breath of every sleeping child. Consider the air in your room right now. It feels empty. It feels like nothing. But we know it is there, filling your lungs, bringing oxygen to your blood, sustaining you even as you sleep. And this air is a crowded ballroom of invisible entities, tiny molecules bouncing and gliding past one another in a chaotic yet harmonious ballet that never stops, not even for a second. These are the atoms, the fundamental building blocks of reality. The ancient seeds that were sown in the fires of the Big Bang and have been recycling themselves ever since, forming stars and planets and oceans, and now forming you. It is a comforting thought to realize that you are not separate from the universe. You are not an outsider looking in, but rather you are an intrinsic part of this great weaving. For the atoms that make up your hand, and the atoms that make up the pillow beneath your head, and the atoms that burn in the distant sun are all the same, playing different roles in the same cosmic story. Imagine a time long before cities and lights, when the earth was young and wild. The same atoms that are here today were there then, perhaps floating in a prehistoric ocean, or trapped in the ice of a glacier, or soaring on the wings of a giant bird. Because atoms are eternal travelers, they do not die, they simply change partners, dancing from one form to another in an endless cycle of creation and recreation. As you listen to my voice, let yourself visualize this invisible world, not as a complex scientific diagram, but as a shimmering field of energy, a soft glow that permeates everything. Imagine that the walls of your room are humming with a low, silent vibration, and the floor is buzzing gently, and even your own body is a symphony of these tiny vibrating strings, all singing the song of existence. In this state of deep relaxation, you can begin to appreciate the miracle of matter. How is it that a collection of spinning particles, which are mostly empty space, can come together to form the hardness of a diamond or the softness of a petal on a rose? It is a mystery that has puzzled philosophers and scientists for thousands of years, and tonight we simply rest in the wonder of it all, without needing to solve the equation or analyze the data, but simply to be present in the mystery. Think of a weaver working at a loom, passing the shuttle back and forth, creating a pattern that emerges slowly over time. And in our story, the universe is the loom, and the laws of physics are the weaver, and the atoms are the thread coming together to create the tapestry of reality. A tapestry that includes the swirling galaxies millions of light years away, and the microscopic cells within your own body. Feel a sense of gratitude for this stability, for the fact that the atoms in the floor hold you up, and the atoms in the roof shelter you from the rain, and the atoms in the air nurture you with every breath. And know that this system is reliable and constant. It does not require your attention or your worry. It simply works, maintaining the balance of the world while you surrender to sleep. As we prepare to journey deeper into the history of how humanity discovered these tiny secrets, let your mind become as fluid as water, drifting along the river of time, floating back past the skyscrapers and the factories, past the steam engines and the printing presses, back to a time when the world was quieter and the night sky was a map of gods and monsters. We are going to visit the minds of those who first dared to ask, "What is the world made of?" But for now, simply stay with the feeling of the tapestry. Feel the connection between your heartbeat and the rhythm of the universe. Feel the unity of all things, knowing that the boundary between you and the rest of the world is just a soft blur of energy. The concept of the atom is not just a lesson in a textbook, it is a lullaby, a reminder that we are made of star stuff, that we are ancient, and that we belong to this universe just as much as the moon and the tides belong. Let the visualization of the tapestry soothe you. Imagine the threads are made of soft golden light, weaving around you, wrapping you in a cocoon of safety. And within this cocoon, you are free to let go of your thoughts, to let go of your plans for tomorrow, to let go of your memories of yesterday, and just float in the eternal now, where everything is composed of drifting atoms. Imagine the silence of space, the vast emptiness between the stars, which is not truly empty, but filled with the potential for creation, and bring that silence down into your room. Let it settle in the corners. Let it settle under the bed. Let it settle in your mind, quietly sweeping away the dust of the day, until all that is left is a clear, calm surface, like a still lake reflecting the moonlight. You are drifting deeper now. Your breathing is slow and steady, your heart is beating in a calm rhythm, and your muscles are loose and heavy, sinking further into the bed, as if gravity itself is hugging you a little tighter, inviting you to rest. The invisible tapestry surrounds you, it supports you, and it connects you to everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. So there is no need to feel alone or small, because in the world of atoms, you are vast. You are a universe unto yourself, containing billions upon billions of these tiny stars within you. As we move forward in this story, we will see how the knowledge of these particles changed the world. But for tonight, the only thing that matters is the comfort they bring. The knowledge that the ground is solid, that the air is pure, and that you are safe, held in the arms of the cosmos. Sleep is coming to you now, drifting in like a fog rolling over the hills, soft and white, and obscuring the sharp edges of reality, turning everything into a gentle dreamscape where logic gives way to feeling, and where the only truth is the peace that you feel in your heart. You are part of the tapestry, woven securely into the design, and nothing can disturb this balance. So let yourself float, let yourself drift, let yourself dream of the invisible threads that bind us all together in this beautiful, silent night. The mist of the present day begins to swirl and fade around you, dissolving into the soft, golden haze of memory, and we find ourselves drifting backward against the current of time, floating past the centuries like fallen leaves upon a slow and lazy river, until we arrive at a shore bathed in the warm light of the ancient world, specifically the sun-drenched coast of Thrace in the north of Greece, around 400 years before the Common Era. The noise of the modern world has vanished completely, replaced by the gentle rhythmic sound of the Aegean Sea lapping against the rocky shoreline, a sound that has not changed in thousands of years, a lullaby that has rocked generations of dreamers to sleep. We are walking softly now through a grove of ancient olive trees, their gnarled trunks twisted by time, and their silvery green leaves whispering secrets to the warm breeze that smells of wild thyme and sea salt and dry earth baked by the midday sun. It is a time of philosophers and poets, a time when the mind was the only laboratory humans possessed. And here, in the dappled shade of the olive grove, we find a man sitting quietly on a weathered stone bench, his eyes closed, not in sleep, but in deep contemplation, listening to the hum of the cicadas hidden in the branches above. This is Democritus, a man who will one day be known as the laughing philosopher, not because he mocks the world, but because he finds a joyful wonder in the mysteries of existence. And today, he is dreaming of the nature of things, trying to look past the surface of the world to see what lies beneath. Imagine him sitting there comfortably, his robe loose around him, the stone cool beneath him, and in his hand he holds a simple red apple plucked from a nearby tree, its skin smooth and cool to the touch, a perfect sphere of nature's bounty. He turns the apple over in his hand, feeling its weight, and he begins a journey, not with his feet, but with his mind, a thought experiment that will change the course of human history, even though he sits perfectly still in the quiet garden. He imagines taking a small, sharp knife and slicing the apple in half, revealing the crisp white flesh and the dark seeds within. And then he imagines taking one of those halves and slicing it again, and then again, and again, each time creating a smaller and smaller piece of fruit. In his mind, he watches the pieces become as small as a crumb of bread, then as small as a grain of sand, then as small as a speck of dust floating in a sunbeam. And still he continues to cut in his imagination, shrinking down into the microscopic realm that no eye had ever seen. He asks himself a question that hangs in the warm afternoon air. Is it possible to cut forever? Can we keep dividing matter infinitely until it disappears into nothingness? Or is there a bottom, a foundation, a stopping point where the knife can go no further? The wind rustles the leaves, creating a soft, shifting pattern of light and shadow on his face. And in this moment of quietude, the answer comes to him like a whisper from the gods, a realization that feels as solid and real as the ground beneath his feet. He realizes that there must be a point where the cutting stops, a point where you reach the smallest possible piece of reality, a particle so tiny and hard and eternal that it cannot be divided any further. He whispers a word into the silence of the garden, a Greek word that means uncuttable or indivisible. He calls it atomos. Let the sound of that word float through your mind like a gentle chime. Atomos, the seed of the universe, the tiny indestructible building block from which all things are made. Democritus smiles, feeling a wave of profound peace wash over him, because this idea is not just scientific, it is spiritual and comforting. It means that the world is not a chaotic mess of temporary shapes, but a beautiful structure built from eternal pieces that have existed forever and will exist forever. He looks around the garden with new eyes, seeing the rugged bark of the olive tree, the soft petals of a wildflower, and the distant blue water of the sea. And he understands that they are all made of the same things, these tiny, invisible atomos, hooking together in different shapes and patterns like a cosmic puzzle. It is a thought that brings a deep sense of stability, for if the building blocks of the world cannot be destroyed, then in a way, nothing is ever truly lost. It simply changes form, like water turning to mist or wood turning to ash. The atoms remain, engaging in an eternal dance of creation. Imagine sitting there beside him, feeling the warmth of the Greek sun penetrating your skin, relaxing your muscles, and sharing in this quiet revelation that the universe is solid and reliable. The air around you in the garden feels heavy and sweet, filled with the drowsiness of the afternoon, and you watch as a single leaf detaches from a branch and drifts slowly down to the earth, a journey of gravity and grace, and you know that even that leaf is a masterpiece of atoms held together by invisible forces. Democritus believes that the soul itself is made of smooth, round atoms that can slip through the body like air through a window, and this thought makes him feel light and buoyant, as if he could float away into the blue sky above. The world of ancient Greece is a slower world, a world where there is time to think, time to breathe, and time to simply be. And as you rest in this imaginary garden, you can feel your own breathing slowing down to match the rhythm of the waves down on the shore. There is no rush here, no deadlines, no ringing phones, only the whisper of the wind and the scratching of the cicadas and the slow movement of the sun across the sky. You are safe here under the olive trees, protected by the wisdom of the ancients who understood that simplicity lies at the heart of complexity. The concept of the atom begins here, not with a loud explosion or a complex machine, but with a man and an apple and a dream on a quiet afternoon. And it is a concept that serves as a foundation for your rest tonight. Think about the bed you are lying in right now and realize that Democritus was right. It is made of trillions of tiny, uncuttable atoms supporting you, holding you up, and the air you breathe is a sea of these atoms filling you with life, and the darkness behind your closed eyelids is a canvas for these atoms to paint your dreams. The Garden of Democritus is a sanctuary, a place where the mind can rest from its labors and find comfort in the truth that we are all made of the same eternal stuff, connected to the trees and the stones and the stars. As the sun begins to dip lower in the sky, casting long purple shadows across the grass, the air cools slightly, bringing a refreshing touch to your skin, and the philosopher closes his hand around the apple, grateful for the understanding it has given him. He does not need to see the atoms with his eyes to know they are there, just as you do not need to see the wind to feel it on your face, or see love to feel it in your heart. It is a matter of trust, trusting in the hidden structure of the world, trusting that even when things seem uncertain on the surface, deep down at the core, there is order and stability. Let this feeling of ancient stability anchor you. Let it be the heavy stone that holds your ship in the harbor, while the gentle waters rock you to sleep. The word atomos fades into a soft echo, blending with the rustle of the leaves and the sound of the sea, becoming a mantra for sleep, uncuttable, unbreakable, eternal. You are drifting further and further into this ancient landscape, becoming one with the scene, feeling the timeless nature of the earth and the sky, and the very atoms that compose your being are slowing their vibration, settling into a state of rest and recovery. The Greek garden is a place of perfect balance, where the mind meets the soul, and where the questions of the universe find their answers in the quiet moments of reflection. As we prepare to leave Democritus to his musings and move forward in time, take a moment to thank this distant ancestor for his vision, for seeing the invisible, and for giving us a name for the tiny particles that make up our reality. The image of the olive grove begins to fade gently, the green and gold colors softening into the gray of twilight, but the feeling of peace remains, the feeling of being grounded in a universe that makes sense, a universe that is built to last. You are floating now, leaving the coast of Thrace behind, carried by the winds of time once again, moving towards new discoveries, but carrying with you the secret of the atomos, the knowledge that you are whole and complete, just like the uncuttable particle. The silence of the centuries wraps around you like a warm blanket, and you are ready to drift deeper into the story, deeper into the night, deeper into the restorative slumber that awaits you. We leave the sun-drenched gardens of the ancient world behind us now, letting the image of the olive trees dissolve into the mists of history, and we allow ourselves to float forward on the river of time, drifting past the rise and fall of empires, past the changings of the seasons and the turning of the centuries, until the air grows cooler and the sky turns a deep indigo blue, and we find ourselves descending gently into the heart of the Middle Ages. We are entering a world of stone and shadow, a world where secrets are kept behind heavy wooden doors, and where knowledge is a treasure guarded by the light of a flickering candle. Imagine a tall stone tower standing alone on a mist-covered hill in Europe, perhaps in a quiet corner of England or France or Germany. And inside this tower, hidden away from the sleeping village below, is a warm and secluded chamber known as the Alchemist's laboratory. The room is small and intimate, with thick stone walls that keep the cold wind outside and trap the warmth of the hearth inside, creating a sanctuary of comfort and safety, where the only thing that matters is the pursuit of wisdom. As you step into this room in your imagination, you are greeted by the rich and earthy scent of dried herbs hanging in bundles from the wooden rafters, the smell of old parchment and melting beeswax, and the faint metallic tang of copper and iron. It is a clutter of curiosity, a collection of wonders, but there is an order to the chaos, a sense of purpose that feels calm and deliberate. In the center of the room stands a large wooden table, stained with the ink and spills of 1,000 experiments, and upon it sits a mesmerizing array of glass vessels, bottles with long curved necks and round bellies, filled with liquids of every color imaginable, deep ruby reds, vibrant emerald greens, and glowing ambers that catch the light of the fire. There is a man here, the alchemist, an elder with a face lined by patience and eyes that sparkle with the reflection of the flames, and he moves with a slow and steady rhythm, wearing a heavy velvet robe that whispers against the stone floor as he walks. He is not a wizard of chaos, but a student of nature, seeking to understand the hidden spirit within all matter, seeking the legendary philosopher's stone that could turn heavy, dull lead into shining, pure gold. Listen closely now to the sounds of this room.
The most prominent sound is the fire crackling in the large stone hearth, a comforting, chaotic rhythm of popping wood and hissing sap that warms the air and casts long, dancing shadows against the walls. The fire is the alchemist's partner, the source of transformation, and as you watch the flames lick around the bottom of a glass flask, you can see a liquid inside beginning to bubble. It is a soft sound, a gentle glooping and bubbling that sounds like a tiny heartbeat answering the fire. And this rhythmic bubbling becomes a hypnotic focal point for your mind, drawing you away from your own thoughts and into the process of the experiment. The alchemist picks up a small silver spoon and carefully measures out a powder, perhaps sulfur or salt or mercury, and sprinkles it into the vessel, watching as the colors swirl and change. And though he does not know the word atom, and he has never seen a molecule, he is, in fact, doing the work of the future.
He is learning the art of mixing and separating, learning that the world is not just one solid block, but a collection of ingredients that can be taken apart and put back together in new and beautiful ways. He believes that everything in the universe is striving for perfection, just as your body is striving for rest right now. And he believes that by purifying these metals, he is also purifying his own soul, finding a state of grace and balance. The atmosphere in the chamber is heavy with concentration, but it is a relaxed concentration, like a monk in prayer or an artist at his canvas, and you can feel this focus seeping into you, quieting your busy mind. Outside the thick glass of the small window, a gentle rain begins to fall, tapping against the pane with a soft, persistent rhythm, plink, plink, plink. And this sound mixes with the crackling fire and the bubbling glass to create a symphony of sleep, a natural white noise that wraps around you like a heavy quilt. The alchemist takes a moment to sit in his worn leather chair, the leather creaking softly as he settles his weight, and he watches the experiment unfold with the patience of a man who knows that great things take time. He watches the steam rise from the flask, curling into the air like a ghost, twisting and turning before fading into the shadows of the ceiling, and you watch it too, letting your worries rise up like that steam and dissolve into nothingness. In this dim light, the boundaries of the room seem to disappear, and all that exists is the warm glow of the workspace, where glass retorts gleam like jewels in the darkness. The alchemist is searching for the essence of matter, the tiny spark that makes gold gold and lead lead. And though he calls it by names like terra and ignis, earth and fire, he is sensing the presence of the atoms we learned about in the garden. He is sensing that the universe is made of tiny parts that can be rearranged, and this knowledge brings a feeling of endless possibility. Think about the concept of turning lead into gold, of taking something heavy and dark and burdensome and transforming it into something light and bright and precious. This is what sleep does for us every night. It takes the heavy, leaden weight of our exhaustion, the dullness of a tired mind, and through the alchemy of rest, it transforms us, turning our energy back into gold, so that we may wake up renewed and shining. The alchemist understands this cycle. He knows that the fire must burn down to embers before it can be stoked again, and so he does not rush, he simply tends the flame. The light in the room is soft and amber, composed of the orange firelight and the yellow light of a few beeswax candles that stand on the table, their flames standing tall and still in the breathless air. You can see the dust motes dancing in the shafts of light, tiny particles floating in the air,
just as atoms float in the void, and the whole room feels alive with a quiet, magical energy. There is a sense of solitude here, but not loneliness. It is the solitude of a peaceful mind, a mind that is content with its own company and the company of the universe. The alchemist reaches for an old leather-bound book, its pages yellowed with age, and he opens it carefully, the sound of the parchment crinkling softly in the silence, and he dips a quill into a pot of ink.
The scratching of the quill against the paper is a rhythmic, soothing sound. Scratch, scratch, pause. Scratch, scratch, pause, as he records his observations, noting the color of the smoke or the clarity of the liquid. He is writing a letter to the future, a message to the scientists who will come centuries later to tell them that he was here, that he was looking, and that he saw the beauty in the mixture. As you lie in your bed, imagine that you are there in the corner of the room, invisible and safe, watching this ancient master at work, feeling the warmth of the fire radiating towards you, loosening the muscles in your back and shoulders, melting away the tension. The glass vessels are like tiny worlds containing storms and oceans and clouds, and the alchemist is the watcher of these worlds, guiding them with a gentle hand. The liquid in the central flask has now turned a deep, calming purple, the color of the night sky, and it settles into a stillness that mirrors the stillness you are finding within yourself. The bubbling slows down, becoming a faint whisper, and the fire settles into a bed of glowing red coals, pulsing gently with heat. The alchemist sets down his quill and rubs his tired eyes. His work for the night is almost done, and the transmutation he sought may not have happened in the glass, but it has happened in the room. The atmosphere has changed from one of activity to one of profound rest. He leans back and closes his eyes, listening to the rain, which has steadied into a continuous hum, and he breathes in the scent of the room, a scent of history and mystery. You are sharing this moment of closure with him, the feeling of a job well done, of a day completed, and the permission to finally stop and let go. The lead of the day has been set aside, and now only the golden silence of the night remains. The shadows in the room lengthen as the candles burn lower, flickering one last time before extinguishing, leaving only the warm red glow of the hearth to light the chamber. It is a primal, comforting light, the kind of light that humans have slept beside for thousands of years, and it signals to your brain that it is time to sleep, time to shut down the conscious mind and let the subconscious take over. The alchemist's chamber is a bridge between the ancient world of dreams and the modern world of science, a place where magic and matter meet, and tonight it is your shelter. The stone walls stand guard, the heavy door is locked, and the secrets of the universe are safe within the bubbling glass. You feel a heaviness in your eyelids, a pleasant weight that pulls them down, and you welcome it, knowing that you are safe in this sanctuary of time. The sounds of the laboratory fade into a soft background hum, the crackle of the fire becoming a rhythm for your heartbeat, and the tapping of the rain becoming the tempo of your breath. Everything is mixing, everything is separating, and everything is coming to rest in the perfect balance of the night. The warm glow of the medieval laboratory begins to fade into the distance, replaced by the cool, refreshing scent of rain on cobblestones and the soft gray light of a new century as we travel forward to the year 1803, arriving in the industrial heart of Manchester, England on a quiet, misty morning. The world here feels different, more structured, more rhythmic,
filled with the sounds of a society that is beginning to understand the mechanics of nature. But we are not heading to the noisy factories or the crowded streets. Instead, we are drifting towards a modest brick house on a side street, a place of utter simplicity and silence, where a man named John Dalton is waking up to the sound of the morning dew dripping from the eaves. John is a Quaker, a man of peace and plainness, who wears a coat of simple drab cloth and speaks with the gentle cadence of someone who values truth over volume. And in his world, silence is a form of prayer, a way of listening to the voice of God in the details of the everyday. It is early morning, perhaps just before dawn, and the city outside is still asleep, wrapped in a blanket of fog that rolls in from the moors, dampening the sounds of the world and creating a cozy, isolated pocket of time. Inside his study, a small fire has been lit in the grate, casting a gentle, flickering light on the walls, which are lined with wooden shelves holding jars of air and water and carefully bound journals. The room smells of burning coal and old paper, and the comforting aroma of steamy tea sitting in a porcelain cup on the desk. Dalton is a school teacher by trade, a man who spends his days explaining the world to children. But in these quiet hours of the morning, he is a student of the atmosphere, a watcher of the weather. He stands by the window, looking out at the gray sky, his breath fogging the glass slightly, and he watches the rain falling steadily, a vertical river connecting the sky to the earth. He is obsessed with the weather, with the way the wind blows and the way the rain falls, and every day for decades he has recorded the temperature and the rainfall in his little notebook, marking down the rhythms of nature with the precision of a clock. But this morning, his mind is wandering deeper than the rain. He is thinking about the air itself, the invisible ocean that we all walk through. He watches a single drop of morning dew slide down the window pane, gathering speed until it merges with another drop, and he wonders what that water is made of. For centuries, people thought water was just water, a single element. But Dalton's mind is moving towards a new horizon, a landscape of weights and measures. He turns back to his desk and sits down, the wooden chair creaking softly in the silence, and he picks up a small round weight from a set of scales. He begins to imagine the air in the room not as a continuous sheet of wind, but as a basket of fruit, a mixture of different things all jumbled together. Imagine a basket filled with heavy apples and light cherries and tiny currants, all shaking and rolling around each other. This is how Dalton sees the unseen world. He realizes that the atoms of the ancients, the uncuttable particles of Democritus, are not all the same. They are not just identical grains of sand.
No, he thinks the atom of gold must be heavy and grand, like a large grapefruit, while the atom of hydrogen is light and flighty, like a small grape, and the atom of oxygen is somewhere in between, sturdy and round. This is a moment of quiet revolution, occurring not on a battlefield, but in the mind of a gentle school teacher listening to the rain. He dips his pen into the inkwell, the glass clinking softly, and begins to draw circles on the page, different circles with different symbols inside them, representing the different weights of the elements. It is a soothing, repetitive motion, the scratching of the pen, the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hallway, and the steady drumming of the rain against the window, creating a trinity of sounds that lulls the mind into a state of trance. He thinks about how these atoms hook together, how one atom of oxygen might grab hold of one atom of hydrogen, or maybe two, like a dancer holding hands with partners, and this dance creates the water that is falling outside. The complexity of the universe is breaking down into a simple, beautiful pattern of weights and ratios, a recipe that never fails. Imagine the comfort of that thought, that the world is not random chaos, but a perfectly measured recipe where every atom has its place and its weight and its purpose. Dalton pauses to take a sip of his tea, the warmth spreading through his chest, chasing away the damp chill of the English morning, and he feels a profound sense of gratitude for the order of things. The room feels smaller now, more intimate, as if the fog outside has pressed the world away, leaving only this sanctuary of thought. He looks at his charts, at the columns of numbers, and feels the satisfaction of things balancing out, like a checkbook that has been perfectly reconciled. The concept of atomic weight is being born here in this cozy room, a concept that gives every piece of matter a specific identity, a fingerprint that cannot be erased. You can imagine the atoms floating around him in the room, the nitrogen and the oxygen bouncing off the walls and off his coat, unseen and silent, but known to him now in a way they were never known before. He sees them as solid little spheres, distinct and permanent, like marbles in a jar, and this solidity is comforting. The rain outside begins to soften, turning from a steady downpour into a soft drizzle, a fine mist that coats the world in silver, and the light in the room shifts from the orange of the fire to the pale wash of the morning gray. Dalton closes his eyes for a moment, resting them from the strain of the candlelight, and he listens to the house settling around him, the wooden beams adjusting to the temperature, the faint sound of a horse's hooves clipping against the stones far down the street. It is a slow, sleepy world, a world before electricity and cars, a world where time moves at the speed of a walking man or a falling raindrop. In this stillness, you can feel the weight of your own body resting against the bed, gravity pulling you down, just as it pulls the rain down, and you realize that you too are made of these weighted atoms, heavy and grounded. The idea of the fruit basket returns to your mind, a pleasant, colorful image of nature's bounty, and you can visualize the atoms of your body settling into place, finding their comfortable positions for the night.
Dalton opens his eyes and looks at the window again, where the condensation has fogged the glass, completely hiding the street outside and turning the window into a glowing white square. He is alone with his thoughts and his God, content to be a humble observer of the magnificent machinery of creation. He writes down one last observation in his journal, noting the barometric pressure and the direction of the wind, closing the book with a soft thud that signifies the end of his work. The morning dew has taught him something profound, that the invisible world has weight and substance, and that even the lightest breath of air is made of distinct, individual things. As the fire burns down to glowing embers, Dalton sits back and simply breathes, breathing in the mixture of atoms that sustains him, trusting in the invisible supports of life. The atmosphere of the room is heavy with peace, heavy with the damp comfort of a rainy day when there is nowhere to go and nothing to do but rest. You are there with him, feeling the safety of the brick walls, the warmth of the wool coat, the certainty of the science that holds the world together. The English countryside stretches out beyond the city, rolling green hills, drinking in the rain, the sheep huddled together under the hedgerows, the streams swelling with fresh water, all of it composed of Dalton's atoms, all of it part of the same silent system. The school teacher's discovery is a gift to us, a promise that we are not ghosts, but solid beings with weight and importance, anchored to the earth. As we prepare to leave this rainy morning in Manchester, let the sound of the rain linger in your ears, a white noise that washes away tension, washes away stress, leaving only a clean slate. The image of John Dalton sitting quietly by his fire fades slowly, the scratching of his pen stopping, the ticking of the clock slowing down until everything hangs in a suspended moment of tranquility. We are moving on now,
leaving the wet cobblestones and the gray skies, but taking with us the feeling of coziness and the knowledge that the universe is ordered and weighed and balanced. The transition is gentle, like waking from a daydream and falling into a deeper sleep, the mist of England clearing to reveal the path to the next chapter of our journey. You are relaxed, you are heavy, you are warm, and the story of the atoms continues to weave its spell around you, protecting your rest.
The rain of Manchester fades into the soft mists of the past, and we allow the current of history to carry us gently forward once again, gliding through the decades until we arrive in the elegant and scholarly world of late Victorian England, specifically the year 1897. We find ourselves in the historic university town of Cambridge, where the ancient stone buildings whisper with the wisdom of centuries, and the narrow cobblestone streets are lined with gas lamps that cast a warm, flickering golden light against the twilight. The air here is still and academic, filled with the scent of old books and polished mahogany, and the quiet rustle of leaves in the university quadrangles. But we are heading indoors to a place of discovery, the famous Cavendish Laboratory, where the secrets of the universe are being unraveled in the silence of the night. The room we enter is dimly lit, shadowed and mysterious, filled with the clutter of scientific pursuit. There are coils of copper wire, stacks of leather-bound notebooks, and strange glass instruments that glint in the low light of the gas jets. In the center of this room stands a man named J.J. Thomson, a physicist with a gentle face and spectacles, who is peering intent upon a glass tube that glows with an eerie, beautiful light. This is the cathode ray tube, a vessel of vacuum where the air has been pumped out, leaving an empty space for electricity to dance. Imagine sitting quietly in a corner of this laboratory, unseen and undisturbed, watching the soft green glow that emanates from the tube, a light that looks like a captured spirit or a ribbon of northern lights bottled in glass. It is a hypnotic color, a soothing phosphorescent green that seems to hum with a low vibration. And as you watch it, you feel your eyes relaxing, the muscles softening as they fixate on this single point of luminosity in the dark room. Thomson is doing something remarkable. He is playing with the beam of light, using magnets to bend it, to push it and pull it. And as he watches the beam curve, he realizes something that shakes the very foundations of science. He realizes that this beam is not just light, but a stream of tiny particles, particles that are thousands of times smaller than the atom itself. For thousands of years, since the time of the Greek gardens, we believed the atom was a solid stone, a hard, impenetrable sphere that could not be broken. But here, in the quiet of the Victorian night, the atom is opening up, revealing its inner heart. Thomson realizes that the atom is not hard at all, but complex and perhaps even soft. To explain this to the world and to himself, he comes up with an image that is one of the most comforting and cozy metaphors in the history of science. He imagines the atom as a pudding. Close your eyes and picture a traditional English Christmas pudding, warm and steaming fresh from the oven, filling the kitchen with the rich, spicy scents of cinnamon and nutmeg and vanilla. It is a sponge, a soft, dense cake that yields to the touch, and embedded within this sponge are scattered raisins and dried plums, sweet and dark. Thomson suggests that the atom is like this pudding, a sphere of positive energy that is soft and doughy and thick, and stuck inside this dough, like the raisins in the cake, are these tiny new particles, which we now call electrons. This is the plum pudding model of the atom, and it transforms our view of reality from something rigid and cold into something warm and yielding. Imagine yourself shrinking down again, becoming small enough to enter this world, where you are not bumping into hard walls, but sinking into a soft, warm cloud of energy. The atom is no longer a tiny billiard ball. It is a comfortable cushion, a place of balance, where the negative electrons float suspended in the positive soup like berries floating in sweet cream. This image brings a sense of incredible comfort because it suggests that at the most fundamental level, the universe is not made of sharp edges or hard surfaces, but of softness and suspension. The room in Cambridge feels even cozier now with this thought, the shadows seeming to wrap around you like a velvet blanket, and the hum of the electrical equipment becoming a lullaby. Thomson adjusts his spectacles and makes a note in his journal, his pen scratching softly against the paper, a sound that marks the passage of time in this peaceful sanctuary. He does not know that his discovery will change the world. He only knows that he has found a new piece of the puzzle, and for now, that is enough. The gaslight flickers gently, casting a rhythm of light and shadow on the walls, and you feel the heavy, drowsy atmosphere of the Victorian era settling over you. It is a time of thick curtains and heavy wool coats, of ticking grandfather clocks and crackling fireplaces, and in this slow-paced world, there is plenty of room for you to rest. The green glow in the vacuum tube is not harsh. It is a nightlight, a beacon of knowledge in the darkness, telling you that it is safe to close your eyes. Imagine the electrons dancing their slow waltz inside the atom, moving through the soft, positive cloud, never stopping but never rushing, simply existing in a state of perfect equilibrium. This balance is what holds you together. It is what holds the chair together, and the floor and the roof. And knowing that this balance is maintained by the laws of nature allows you to surrender control. You do not need to hold yourself together. The atoms are doing it for you with their soft electrical embrace. The smell of the laboratory, the dust and the ozone and the wood mixes with the imaginary scent of the plum pudding, creating a sensory experience that is both grounding and dreamlike. You can feel the warmth of the pudding, the steam rising against your face, the promise of sweetness and comfort, and you let this feeling seep into your bones, relaxing every muscle from your toes to the top of your head. J.J. Thomson sits back in his chair, rubbing his eyes, tired but satisfied, the guardian of the glowing tube, and you are his silent companion, sharing in the peace of the discovery. The world outside the laboratory is asleep. The streets of Cambridge are empty, save for the occasional fog rolling in from the River Cam, and the stars above are twinkling with the same light that glows in the tube.
Everything is connected, the very large and the very small, the stars and the electrons, all part of the same soft fabric of reality. The concept of the hard, unbreakable world has dissolved, leaving behind a world that is pliable and gentle, a world where you can drift and float without resistance. As the green light pulses softly one last time in your mind's eye, you feel a sense of deep gratitude for this softness, for the fact that you are not made of stone, but of energy and light and balance. The Victorian night is long and quiet, offering you hours of undisturbed rest, and the spirit of inquiry that fills this room is not restless, but contemplative, a slow, deep river of thought that carries you away from the shores of wakefulness. The plum pudding atom is a symbol of home, of hearth, of nourishment, and as you embrace this image, you feel a deep sense of well-being filling your chest and calming your heart. The electrons are safe in their pudding, the stars are safe in the sky, and you are safe in your bed, held by the gentle forces of the universe. The scene begins to dim, the gas lights lowering, the green glow fading into the blackness of sleep, but the feeling of warmth remains, the feeling of being embedded in something good and sweet and sustaining.
We leave J.J. Thomson to his work, to his quiet contemplation of the invisible, and we drift away from Cambridge, carried on the soft wings of the night, ready to journey deeper into the mystery, but for now fully content to rest in the softness of the atom. The silence of the library returns, the dust motes settle, and the world waits for the next dawn. But you are already gone, drifting, floating, sinking into the deep velvet dough of sleep, where dreams are the only reality and where the electrons dance just for you.
The soft green glow of the vacuum tube fades slowly from our vision, leaving behind a comforting darkness as we move forward once again through the corridors of time, leaving the 19th century behind and crossing the threshold into the 20th, arriving in the year 1911. The setting shifts from the ancient halls of Cambridge to the industrial energy of Manchester, where the rain falls with a soft, rhythmic persistence against the brick walls of the university, washing away the soot of the factories and creating a curtain of sound that shuts out the rest of the world. We are entering the laboratory of Ernest Rutherford, a man with a booming voice and a brilliant mind, but tonight the laboratory is silent, save for the occasional click of a machine and the scratching of a pen. The room is steeped in shadow, because for this experiment, the eyes must be sensitive to the faintest sparks of light in the darkness. So imagine yourself sitting there in the cool, pitch-black room, your breathing slowing down to match the quiet anticipation of the scientists. In the center of this darkness sits a piece of gold foil, hammered so thin that it is barely more than a whisper of metal, a shimmering sheet that is only a few hundred atoms thick, delicate as a butterfly's wing and translucent to the light. Rutherford and his students are firing tiny, invisible particles at this gold foil, like microscopic bullets, expecting them to punch right through the soft plum pudding of the atom, just as a pebble would pass through a cloud of steam. For days they watch and listen in the dark, counting the tiny flashes of light on the screen behind the foil, confirming that the particles are passing through just as expected, flying straight and true through the soft dough of matter. It is a hypnotic, repetitive task, a rhythm of observation that lulls the mind into a trance. Click, flash, passing through, passing through. But then something impossible happens, something that shatters the old view of the world and opens up a new dimension of vastness and wonder. One single particle out of thousands does not pass through, but instead it bounces back. It hits something hard and heavy in the center of the gold and ricochets back towards the source like a shell bouncing off a piece of tissue paper. Rutherford is stunned. He sits in the darkness, his mind racing, trying to make sense of this anomaly. And in the silence of that Manchester lab, a new picture of reality begins to form, a picture that is both shocking and strangely peaceful. He realizes that the atom is not a soft pudding at all, but that it is almost entirely empty space, a vast void of nothingness with a tiny, dense core at the very center, which he calls the nucleus. To help us understand this vastness, to help us grasp the sheer scale of this emptiness, he offers us a metaphor that transforms the microscopic world into a place of majestic architectural beauty. Imagine that you are standing in the center of a magnificent cathedral, perhaps a great European Gothic structure with soaring stone arches that disappear into the shadows high above, and stained glass windows that cast pools of ruby and sapphire light onto the cold stone floor. The air in this cathedral is cool and still, smelling of ancient incense and stone, and the silence is so deep that you can hear your own heartbeat echoing in your ears. This cathedral represents the size of a single atom.
It is huge, spacious, and filled with air. Now look up towards the very center of the vast domed ceiling and imagine a tiny housefly buzzing silently in the middle of that immense open space. That tiny fly represents the nucleus, the hard, heavy center where almost all the mass of the atom is concentrated. And everything else, the entire vast nave of the cathedral, the aisles, the choir lofts, the empty air extending for hundreds of feet in every direction, represents the electrons and the empty space. This is the new reality of the atom, a tiny speck of matter floating in a majestic ocean of emptiness. Let this image sink into your mind and feel the sense of relief it brings, because it means that the solid world around you, the walls, the floor, the bed you are lying on, is actually mostly empty space held together by invisible forces. It suggests that there is a lightness to existence, a buoyancy that we often forget because we are so focused on the heaviness of things. Imagine that your own body is like this cathedral, billions of tiny cathedrals stacked together, and that within you there is more space than stuff, more silence than noise, more openness than barrier. This thought creates a feeling of expansion in the chest, a feeling that you are not compressed or trapped, but that you are airy and light, capable of floating like a cloud. The cathedral of the atom is a sanctuary, a place where there is room to breathe, room to be, room to dream without clutter or crowding. Rutherford's discovery does not make the world feel insubstantial. Instead, it makes it feel elegant and precise, like a musical note hanging in a quiet room. The darkness of the laboratory in Manchester feels friendly now, not oppressive, because it is mirroring the darkness within the atom, the peaceful void where the electrons orbit far away from the center, like lonely planets in a deep night sky. As you lie there, let yourself drift into the vastness of this inner cathedral, walking slowly down the long center aisle, feeling the peace of the empty space wrapping around you. There is no need to worry about the fly in the center, the nucleus holding everything together. It is doing its job perfectly, anchoring reality so that you can explore the emptiness. The emptiness is not a lack of something. It is a space for potential, a space for rest, a space where the busy thoughts of the day can disperse and fade away like mist. Imagine that your worries are just tiny particles trying to pass through this space, and because there is so much room, they simply fly through and disappear, leaving you untouched and undisturbed. You are spacious, you are open, you are free. The rain continues to fall outside the laboratory, a gentle drumming that reinforces the feeling of being safe indoors, of being sheltered within the structure of the universe.
Rutherford writes down his calculations, his hand moving slowly across the paper, and he is filled with a sense of awe at the elegance of nature's design. He has looked into the heart of matter and found that it is not a crowded, chaotic place, but a place of order and distance and silence. The gold foil, which seemed so solid, is now revealed to be a veil of mystery, a net of stars with vast distances between them. This realization invites you to let go of the tension in your muscles, to let go of the feeling that you need to be hard or rigid to survive, because even the hardest gold is mostly empty space. You can be soft, you can be yielding, you can be spacious. The air in your room is made of these atoms, and as you breathe in, you are breathing in the vastness of the universe, filling your lungs with the peaceful emptiness that sustains life. It is a paradox that the solid world is made of empty space, but it is a gentle paradox, one that allows us to dream of floating and flying. The visualization of the cathedral remains with you, the tall pillars of stone rising up, the colored light shifting slowly as the sun moves across the sky, and the profound silence that heals the soul. You are the architect of your own sleep tonight,
building a cathedral of rest in your mind, clearing away the clutter to make room for the peace that comes with the night. Ernest Rutherford sits back in his chair, the experiment concluded for the night, and he watches the machine wind down, the clicking stopping, the silence returning, complete and absolute. He has given us a gift, a map of the territory within, and it is a territory of infinite peace. We leave the dark laboratory now, leaving the gold foil to shimmer in the shadows, and we carry with us the image of the fly in the cathedral, a reminder that at the core of everything there is a small, heavy truth, but around it there is infinite room to breathe. You are drifting through this empty space now, weightless and calm, moving towards the next discovery, but fully content to linger in the vastness. The universe is not pressing down on you, it is opening up for you, creating a path of least resistance for your journey into sleep. The boundaries of your body seem to blur slightly, merging with the space around you, and you feel a connection to the air, to the darkness, to the silence. It is a holy moment, a moment of reverence for the sheer scale of the microscopic world. Sleep flows into the empty spaces, filling the cathedral of your mind with a soft golden mist that obscures the details and leaves only the feeling of comfort. You are safe in the vastness, held by the forces that bind the stars and the atoms alike. Everything is still, everything is quiet, and the cathedral of empty space stands guard over your dreams, a monument to the beautiful mystery of the night.
We leave the vast, echoing cathedral of the nucleus behind us now, and we let the current of our journey carry us across the dark, rolling waters of the North Sea, moving from the industrial heart of England to the cool, quiet serenity of Scandinavia, arriving in the beautiful city of Copenhagen in the year 1913. It is a city of spires and copper roofs that turn green with age, a city where the air is crisp and clean, and where the nights are long and filled with a silence that seems to stretch out forever. We are entering the study of a young Danish physicist named Niels Bohr, a man with a gentle face and a mind that moves with the slow, deliberate grace of a glacier. Outside his window, the snow is falling soft and thick, blanketing the cobblestone streets in silence, muffling the sound of footsteps and turning the world into a landscape of white and gray. But inside the room, it is warm and safe, lit by the golden glow of a desk lamp that casts a circle of light upon the papers scattered before him. Bohr is wrestling with a problem, a mystery that keeps the scientists of the world awake at night. For if the atom is mostly empty space, with electrons flying around like gnats, then why do they not crash into the center? Why does the atom not collapse in a flash of light? He sits back in his heavy wooden chair, the leather creaking softly, and he looks out the window, up into the clear patches of the night sky, where the stars are burning cold and bright like diamonds scattered on black velvet. He looks at the moon, hanging pale and round in the darkness, and he thinks about the planets, the great silent wanderers of the solar system, Jupiter and Saturn and Mars and our own Earth, all circling the sun in perfect eternal orbits. They do not crash, they do not spiral inward, they stay in their lanes, moving round and round in a cosmic dance that has lasted for billions of years. A smile touches his lips as the realization dawns upon him, like the slow rising of the sun. He realizes that the atom is a tiny solar system, a microscopic mirror of the heavens above. Imagine this beautiful, ordered system. Now visualize the nucleus in the center, not just as a fly in a cathedral, but as a glowing sun, warm and stable, holding everything together with its gravitational pull.
And around this sun, the electrons are not buzzing chaotically like swarms of bees. Instead, they are moving in smooth, perfect circles, just like planets gliding through the emptiness of space. This is the Danish dream of orbits, a vision of perfect order where everything has its place and everything stays in its lane. Imagine the electron as a tiny, shimmering planet traveling on a silvery track, a circular railway that loops around the center, and it moves without friction, without sound, without effort, simply following the path that nature has laid out for it. It is a hypnotic rhythm, round and round and round again, a cycle that never ends and never falters. Bohr realizes that these tracks are special, that there are rules in this tiny world, just as there are rules in the great wide universe. He imagines that the electrons can only live on these specific tracks. They cannot float in the space between them, just as a train cannot drive on the grass. It must stay on the rails.
This idea brings a profound sense of safety and stability to the world, because it means that reality is not random. It is structured and secure, like a ladder with sturdy rungs where you can stand safely. Listen to the rhythm of this idea, the feeling of circular motion, which is one of the most soothing sensations for the human body and mind. Think of a cradle rocking back and forth, or a swing moving in a gentle arc, or the wheels of a train clicking softly over the tracks, rhythmic and repetitive and predictable. The atom of Niels Bohr is a clockwork masterpiece, a celestial mechanism that ticks silently in every stone and every drop of water and every cell of your body. As you lie here in the comfort of your bed, let your mind latch on to this image of the circling electrons, visualizing them as tiny points of light spinning slowly around a central warmth. It is a dance of pure energy, but it is a disciplined dance, a waltz that follows a timing as old as time itself. The snow continues to fall outside the window in Copenhagen, piling up on the window ledge inch by inch, adding another layer of insulation to the room, making the silence even deeper, even more profound. Bohr picks up his pen and begins to draw circles on the page, concentric rings like the ripples in a pond after a stone has been thrown. And with every circle he draws, he is defining the safe zones, the places where energy can rest. He understands that sometimes an electron might need to move from one track to another, from one shell to another. And when it does, it makes a tiny jump, a quantum leap, disappearing from one orbit and reappearing in another instantaneously, releasing a tiny spark of light as it goes. This is where the light of the universe comes from the neon signs in the city to the glow of the fireflies in the summer dusk. It is all just electrons dancing between the tracks, moving from one level of comfort to another. But for tonight, we focus on the stability, on the long, smooth periods of orbiting where nothing changes and everything flows. The solar system model is a lullaby of physics, a promise that the center will hold and the planets will not wander off into the dark. You are the sun in this visualization, the heavy, warm center of your own universe, and your thoughts are like the planets orbiting around you at a distance. You can watch them go round and round, observing them without judgment, letting them pass by on their tracks, knowing that they will simply circle back again and again. You do not need to grab them or stop them or control them. You simply let them orbit while you remain still and anchored in the center. The feeling of rotation is gentle, like a carousel turning slowly in a dream, with soft music playing in the distance, and you are riding one of the horses, rising and falling gently as the world turns. The genius of Niels Bohr was to see the connection between the very big and the very small,
to see that the same laws that guide the stars guide the dust, and this connection makes us feel less alone.
We are not isolated accidents. We are part of a grand design, a pattern that repeats itself from the galaxies down to the teacups. The study in Copenhagen feels timeless now, the clock on the wall ticking in time with the orbits, tick-tock, tick-tock, a metronome for the universe. The shadows in the room are long and soft, wrapping around the books and the instruments and the physicist himself, who is now leaning back with his eyes closed, watching the spinning worlds in his mind's eye. He is at peace because he has found the order in the chaos. He has found the silence in the noise. The atmosphere of the early 20th century is one of elegance and discovery, a time when the world was opening up to new wonders, and you are part of that discovery, drifting along with the flow of history. The air in your room feels charged with this quiet, orderly energy. The atoms in the walls maintaining their orbits, the atoms in your blankets holding their formation, all of them singing the same silent song of the spheres. You can trust this structure. You can lean your full weight upon it, because these orbits have held firm since the beginning of the universe, and they will hold firm long after you wake. Let the circles become slower now, expanding outwards, becoming larger and lazier, like a river widening as it nears the ocean. The electrons are no longer racing, they are drifting, gliding on currents of peace, circling the nucleus with a slow, languid grace. The concept of time begins to dissolve in this circular motion, because a circle has no beginning and no end. It is just a continuous journey, a loop of eternity. You are safe inside this loop, protected by the laws of physics, protected by the geometry of the night. Niels Bohr's dream is your dream tonight, a dream of planets and stars and tiny particles all moving in harmony, all dancing to the same cosmic rhythm. The snow has stopped falling now, and the city of Copenhagen sleeps under a blanket of white, the moon watching over it like a benevolent eye. And in the heart of the city, the physicist sleeps too, his work done, his mind resting in the knowledge of the orbit. We leave him there in the quiet of 1913, surrounded by his circles, and we drift away, feeling lighter, feeling smoother, feeling the gentle centrifugal force of sleep pulling us deeper into the center. The orbits are your cradle, rocking you, soothing you, spinning a web of safety around your slumber. Round and round we go, drifting into the velvet darkness, carried by the electrons, supported by the stars, finding our rest in the silent cosmic night.
The crisp, clear lines of the solar system model begin to soften, now dissolving into the mists of time as we move forward into the 1920s, a decade known for its noise and its jazz. But in the world of the atom, it is a decade of beautiful silence and mystery. We are traveling to the misty islands of the North Sea and the quiet alpine cabins of Austria, where a new generation of dreamers is watching the fog roll in and realizing that the world is not as hard and sharp as we once thought. The clockwork precision of the planets fades away, and in its place comes a soft rolling cloud of uncertainty, a blur of potential that feels like a dream waiting to be dreamt. We meet a young man named Werner Heisenberg, who is walking alone on a rocky island surrounded by the gray ocean mist, and as he looks into the fog, he realizes that he cannot see the horizon clearly. He cannot see where the sea ends and the sky begins. He realizes that nature loves to hide its secrets in a veil of ambiguity, and he gives us a new rule for the universe called the uncertainty principle. It sounds complicated, but for us tonight it is a permission slip to let go of control, to let go of the need to know exactly where everything is. Heisenberg tells us that we cannot know the position and the speed of a particle at the same time, that the more we focus on one, the more the other blurs away, like a shy creature receding into the shadows. This is not a failure of our eyes, but a fundamental quality of reality, a quality that is soft and fuzzy and undefined. Imagine trying to catch a smoke ring in your hand, or trying to hold a beam of moonlight. The harder you grasp, the more it slips away. So the only secret is to relax your hand and let it be. The atom is no longer a machine with gears and levers. It has become a ghost, a spirit, a whisper in the dark. Joining this vision is another thinker named Erwin Schrödinger, who imagines the electron not as a particle at all, but as a wave, like the ripples on a lake or the vibration of a cello string. He sees the atom as a musical note, a hum of energy that spreads out in all directions, filling the space with a soothing resonance. The hard, tiny planet that was orbiting the nucleus has dissolved, and now it is everywhere at once, a cloud of probability, a shimmering mist of possibility that surrounds the center like a halo. This is the cloud model, and it is the most relaxing image of all, because it turns the hard edges of the world into soft pillows. Imagine that the chair you were sitting on and the bed you were lying in are not made of hard, rigid balls, but of these soft, fuzzy clouds of energy, overlapping and merging with one another. It feels as if the universe has been wrapped in cotton wool, as if the sharp corners of existence have been sanded down to smooth curves.
The electron is no longer running on a track. It is floating in a hammock of space, existing in a state of superposition, which simply means it is happy to be here and there and everywhere, all at the same time. This dreamlike state is perfect for sleep because it mirrors the way your own mind works as you drift off. Your thoughts stop being linear and logical like the train on the tracks, and they begin to dissolve into a soft cloud of images and feelings, merging and shifting without any effort. You are entering the quantum realm of sleep, where time has no meaning and where you can be in two places at once, floating in your bed and floating in a dream. The atmosphere of the 1920s science is one of deep philosophical contemplation, a time to sit by the fire and wonder about the nature of reality without needing a concrete answer. The fog that surrounds Heisenberg on his island is the same fog that is wrapping around your consciousness now, a gentle gray blanket that muffles the sounds of the world and creates a private sanctuary of peace. You can visualize the atom as a puff of white smoke drifting in a calm room, changing shape, slowly expanding and contracting with the rhythm of your breath. There is no tension in a cloud. There is no resistance. It simply flows around obstacles and exists in a state of perfect acceptance. The nucleus is still there, deep in the center, a tiny anchor of stability, but it is hidden now, buried deep within the layers of the electron cloud, protected and safe. You feel a sense of lightness spreading through your limbs, as if your body is becoming less dense, less heavy, turning into a cloud of probability itself. You are not a solid object stuck in one place. You are a field of energy, vibrating at a low and slow frequency, a frequency of rest. The logic of the day is dissolving into the intuition of the night, and things that seemed so important and so solid a few hours ago are now fading into the mist, becoming unimportant and distant. Schrödinger's wave equation is a lullaby, a mathematical song that describes the rise and fall of the ocean of energy, and you are bobbing gently on those waves, supported by the deep water. The word probability sounds dry in a classroom, but here in the sleep story, it means freedom.
It means that anything is possible in the dream world, that the boundaries of the waking world do not apply. You are free to float, free to fly, free to dissolve into the ether. The light in this chapter is dim and diffuse, like the light of the moon filtering through high cirrus clouds, casting no shadows, only a soft silvery illumination that bathes everything in mystery. It is a trance-like state where the eyes are heavy and the mind is unhooked from the anchors of reality. The scientists of this era did not fear the unknown, they embraced it. They found beauty in the blur, and you are invited to find the beauty in your own blurriness tonight.
Let your vision go soft. Let your focus drift. Let the edges of the room fade away until there is only the feeling of the cloud. The electron is a traveler that never lands, a bird that never perches, always moving, always flowing, always existing in a state of potential, and you are drifting with it. The hard certainty of the clock ticking on the wall is replaced by the fluid time of the quantum world, where a second can stretch into an hour, and an hour can pass in the blink of an eye. You are safe in this cloud, safe in the fuzzy embrace of the universe, where nothing can harm you because nothing can really touch you. The concept of the quantum leap takes on a new meaning here, not a sudden jump, but a gentle transition, a slipping away from the shore of wakefulness into the ocean of sleep. You do not need to try to sleep, you only need to stop trying to stay awake, just as we stop trying to measure the position of the electron. By letting go of the measurement, by letting go of the control, we allow the natural state of rest to take over. The mist is cool and refreshing, soothing your forehead, calming your eyes, filling your lungs with the pure air of the Alps or the sea. The cloud of mystery is not a scary mystery, it is a comforting one, like a secret garden hidden behind a wall of fog where you can curl up and rest undisturbed. The figures of Heisenberg and Schrödinger fade back into the mist, their work done, their questions asked, and they leave you alone in the soft silence of the probability cloud. You are drifting deeper now, deeper into the probability of dreams, deeper into the certainty of sleep. The universe is soft, the atom is soft, and you are soft, melting into the mattress, becoming one with the cloud. There are no sharp edges here, only smooth transitions, only gentle waves, only the quiet hum of the quantum field singing you to sleep. The cloud surrounds you, protects you, and carries you, drifting, drifting, drifting into the white velvet fog of the night, where everything is peace and everything is possible. The mist of the quantum cloud begins to settle, slowly drifting down like a soft morning fog that returns to the earth, revealing the solid ground beneath our feet, and we find ourselves stepping out of the hazy dreamscape of the 1920s and moving forward into the more grounded and serious atmosphere of 1932. We are returning to the hallowed halls of Cambridge University, to the Cavendish Laboratory, which by now has become a temple of silence and deep thought, where the dust motes dance in shafts of pale English sunlight, and the smell of floor wax and old copper fills the air. It is a time of quiet dedication, a time when the world was between storms, and in this lull we meet a man named James Chadwick, a physicist known for his reserve, for his quiet intensity, and for his patience. He is looking into the very heart of the atom, the nucleus that Rutherford discovered years ago, and he is troubled by a puzzle that has remained unsolved, a mystery of balance. We knew that the nucleus was made of protons, positive particles that glow with energy, but there was a problem
a tension that hummed in the center of everything, because positive things repel each other. They push each other away, just as two north poles of a magnet fight to be apart. So how could the nucleus hold together? Why did it not explode from the force of all those protons pressing against one another? What was the secret glue that kept the heart of the atom from breaking apart? James Chadwick is sitting in his lab, surrounded by blocks of paraffin wax and sources of radiation, listening to the silence, searching for the missing piece. Imagine the atmosphere of the room. It is heavy and still, like a library at midnight, where the only sound is the turning of a page or the scratching of a pen. Chadwick is performing an experiment that is elegant and simple, watching invisible particles knock protons out of the wax like billiard balls striking one another. But he notices that something else is there, something invisible, something heavy, something silent. He realizes that there's another particle in the nucleus, a particle that has the same weight as a proton, but no electric charge. It is neither positive nor negative. It takes no sides. It simply is. He names it the neutron, the neutral one, the silent partner in the dance of matter. This discovery is the final key to the stability of the universe, because the neutron acts as a buffer, a peacemaker, sitting between the protons and calming their repulsion, holding them together with a force stronger than electricity. Imagine the nucleus now, not just as a group of angry protons fighting to escape, but as a tightly packed ball of friends, where the neutrons sit calmly in the middle, holding everyone's hands, grounding the energy, and creating a core of absolute stability. This is the silent, neutral heart of the atom, and it is a powerful metaphor for your own rest tonight, because it represents the weight that holds you down, the gravity that keeps you safe. Think of the neutron as a heavy stone anchor dropped into the bottom of a deep blue sea, holding the ship steady against the wind and the waves. The storm may blow on the surface, the electrons may fly in their clouds, but deep down in the center, there is a heavy, neutral silence that cannot be moved. This brings a profound sense of relief to the mind, because it means that at the center of everything, there is peace. There is a place where the forces of nature come to rest. James Chadwick's discovery adds weight to the world. It gives the atom its mass, its substance, its ability to be solid.
As you lie in your bed, feel the weight of your own body sinking into the mattress and realize that this weight comes from the neutrons deep within your atoms. You are being held by the earth, and your atoms are holding themselves together with an unbreakable grip. The neutron does not seek attention. It does not glow or spin or dance. It simply holds space. It provides the foundation upon which the rest of reality is built. In a world that is often loud and polarized, full of positive and negative charges, full of yes and no, the neutron reminds us of the power of neutrality, the power of just being. It is the deep breath in the middle of an argument. It is the pause between two notes of music. It is the stillness of a stone in a rushing river. You can access this neutral space within yourself right now, finding that place in your heart that is not worried about tomorrow or regretting yesterday, but is simply here, heavy and present. The laboratory in Cambridge feels darker now, more enclosed, as if the walls have moved closer to protect the secret of the neutron. The light is dim, focusing only on the apparatus and on the hands of the scientist who works with the slow, deliberate movements of a craftsman. He knows he has found the glue of the universe, the cosmic cement that binds matter into form, and there is a deep satisfaction in that knowledge, a feeling of a job completed, of a circle closed. The atom is no longer a mystery of empty space or fuzzy clouds alone. It is now a fortress, a castle with a strong stone keep in the center where the king and queen sit in safety.
The forces that try to tear things apart are strong, but the force that holds them together, the force of the neutron, is stronger. This is the strong nuclear force, an invisible embrace that is the most powerful feeling in nature, and it is wrapping around you now. Imagine that you are being hugged by the universe, held tight by the same force that holds the sun together and holds the mountains in place. There is no need for you to hold on. There is no need for you to tense your muscles, because the neutrons are doing the work for you, maintaining the integrity of your being. The atmosphere of 1932 is one of grounding, of returning to basics, of finding what is real and true, and the neutron is the ultimate truth of matter. It is the ballast in the hull of the ship that prevents it from capsizing. It is the lead weight in the grandfather clock that keeps the time steady. Listen to the silence of the neutron, a silence that is not empty but full of presence, a heavy velvet silence that absorbs all noise and all vibration. Chadwick sits back and wipes his glasses, his eyes tired but his spirit calm, and he looks at the paraffin wax, which looks so ordinary and yet holds such secrets. He understands now why the world is stable, why trees can grow tall without falling apart, why the ground is solid beneath our feet. It is all thanks to the silent, neutral heart, the unshakable core.
You are drifting deeper into this stability, feeling your body becoming heavier and heavier, as if you were turning into stone or lead, sinking pleasantly into the soft support of the bed. The floating feeling of the clouds is replaced by a sinking feeling, a feeling of being planted like an ancient oak tree with roots that go down to the center of the earth. The neutron teaches us that we do not always need to be active or positive or energetic, that sometimes it is enough to be neutral, to be heavy, to be still. The world will spin around you. The electrons will dance their endless dance, but you can remain in the center, watching, observing, resting. The discovery of the neutron brings a sense of completion to our story of the atom. The structure is now built, the walls are up, the roof is on, and the foundation is secure. You are inside this structure, protected from the elements, safe from the chaos of the outside world. The Cambridge lab fades into the shadows, the equipment becoming silhouettes in the dim light, and the only thing that remains is the feeling of weight and the feeling of peace. James Chadwick blows out the lamp, leaving the room in darkness, a darkness that is thick and comforting like a heavy wool blanket. The neutrons in the walls and the floor and the air continue their silent vigil, holding the world together while you sleep. You are safe, you are solid, you are whole. The forces of nature are in balance, the repulsion is tamed, and the attraction is triumphant. Let yourself sink all the way down to the bottom of the ocean of sleep, where the water is still and deep, and where the currents cannot reach you. You are the neutron now, the silent heart of the night, resting in the center of the universe, perfectly balanced, perfectly still, perfectly at peace. We leave the heavy, silent laboratory of the neutron behind us now, stepping out of the shadowed halls of Cambridge and lifting our gaze upwards, far beyond the brick walls and the slate roofs, far beyond the clouds and even beyond the atmosphere itself, until we are floating in the silent velvet expanse of outer space. Here, in the deep void, the view changes from the microscope to the telescope, and we see the universe not as a collection of tiny vibrating particles, but as a canvas of light painted with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. It is a breathtaking sight, a panorama of diamond dust scattered across the infinite blackness. But tonight, we know the secret.
that these stars are not just pretty lights to wish upon. They are the cosmic kitchens where the ingredients of life are cooked. For eons before the Earth even existed, the universe was a simple place filled only with light gases. But deep in the gravity of the darkness, massive clouds of dust began to pull together, igniting the first nuclear fires. Imagine the heart of a giant star, a massive ball of fire, millions of times larger than our sun, burning with a heat that we cannot comprehend. Yet in our story, it is a warmth that feels distant and safe, like a fireplace seen from across a snowy field. Inside this celestial inferno, the pressure is so intense that the simplest atoms of hydrogen are crushed together, fusing to create helium, releasing the golden light that travels across the universe to warm the faces of planets that do not yet exist. But the star does not stop there. It acts as a patient chef in a cosmic kitchen, continuing to cook and transform the elements over millions of years. It fuses helium into carbon, the backbone of all life, and carbon into oxygen, the breath of our lungs, and oxygen into neon and magnesium and silicon, creating the very stuff that makes up the rocks and the oceans and the air. Think of the star as a guardian, holding these precious seeds of matter deep within its fiery core, protecting them, nurturing them, preparing them for a future destiny. As the star grows old and weary, it begins to forge heavier things, creating iron in its center. And then, in a moment of cosmic drama that is both violent and beautiful, the star reaches the end of its life and collapses. It explodes in a supernova, a dazzling, silent bloom of light that outshines the entire galaxy for weeks, scattering its insides across the cosmos, flinging gold and silver and calcium and iron into the dark void, like a farmer sowing seeds in a field. In this magnificent explosion, the atoms are set free, drifting like smoke through the silence of space for eons, cooling and settling and mixing with the dust of other dying stars. It is a slow and graceful dance of debris, a cosmic recycling program where nothing is ever wasted and everything is reused. Slowly, gravity pulls this stardust together again, forming swirling clouds of color, nebulae that glow with pink and blue and violet light. And from these clouds, new suns are born and new planets condense out of the cooling gas. Eventually, one of these clouds formed a small yellow star and a blue planet called Earth, and the atoms that were forged in the belly of that ancient dying star became the ground we walk on and the water we drink. And here is the most comforting thought of all. The atoms that are in your hand as it rests on the blanket, the atoms that make up the iron in your blood, and the calcium in your bones, and the carbon in your genes, were all forged in those distant fires billions of years ago.
You are literally made of stardust. You are a child of the universe in the most direct physical sense. This connection creates a profound sense of belonging, a realization that you are not a stranger wandering on a foreign planet, but that you are the universe experiencing itself. You are not separate from the stars. You are the stars, taking on human form for a little while. Let this thought wash over you like a wave of warm light, soothing your existential worries and replacing them with a feeling of grandeur and connection. When you look at your hand, you are looking at an artifact that is billions of years old, a collection of atoms that have traveled through the vacuum of space to come together and create you. The gold in your ring was made in a collision of stars. The oxygen in your breath was exhaled by a red giant, and the water in your cells was frozen in comets that drifted through the dark. You are ancient, you are cosmic, you are vast. The universe is not out there, it is in here, inside you. This perspective shifts the focus from the small worries of the day to the eternal scale of time, where problems seem to dissolve like mist in the morning sun.
You can feel the stardust in your bones, heavy and grounding, connecting you to the gravity of the Earth, which is also made of stardust. We are all cousins in this cosmic family. Trees and rocks and birds and humans, all built from the same set of atomic Lego blocks that were manufactured in the same stellar factories. Imagine yourself floating in the great nebula, surrounded by the colorful clouds of gas, feeling the silence of creation wrapping around you. It is a quiet place, a place of potential, where the past meets the future, and where the death of a star brings life to a world. The timeline of the atoms is a circle, a continuous loop of birth and death and rebirth, and you are currently safe in the living part of the cycle. The atoms that make up your body are on loan to you from the universe, and they are happy to be there, working together in harmony to sustain your life and your sleep. As you drift deeper into relaxation, think of the iron in your blood carrying oxygen to your brain, and thank the star that made that iron. Thank the supernova that released it. Thank the gravity that caught it. It is a chain of gratitude that stretches back to the Big Bang. The telescope of your mind is looking back through time, seeing the history written in the light of the stars. You are part of a grand epic story that has no beginning and no end. The vastness of space is not cold and empty. It is filled with the potential for life, filled with the dust that makes dreams possible. The atmosphere of the cosmic kitchen is warm and productive, a place where the universe is constantly reinventing itself. You can rest now, knowing that you are made of the toughest stuff in the universe, stuff that has survived explosions and extreme heat and the freezing cold of the void. You are durable, you are resilient, you are eternal. The light of the stars above your roof is a reminder of your origins, a nightlight that has been burning for eons just to watch over you. As we prepare to leave the vastness of space and return to the microscopic world, we carry with us this feeling of expansion, this feeling that we are huge and significant. The stardust that forms your eyelids is heavy now, pulling them down gently, inviting you to close your eyes and look within. You are a galaxy of atoms, a universe of cells, and inside every one of them is the memory of a star. Sleep comes easily when you know you are home, and the entire universe is your home. The silence of space is the silence of your room, and the peace of the stars is the peace in your heart. You are drifting, floating, glowing with the inner light of your own atoms, returning to the source, returning to the feeling of being one with everything. The cosmic kitchen has finished its work for the day. The fires are banked, the stars are drifting, and you are safe in the arms of the galaxy, a child of the cosmos, sleeping soundly in the cradle of the night. We return now from the high, silent reaches of the cosmos, gliding gently down on beams of starlight, back to the quiet sanctuary of your room, back to the very moment where you lie resting. And we turn our inner gaze once more to the microscopic landscape that makes up your world. We have seen the cathedral and the cloud and the solar system, but modern science asks us to go deeper, to peel back the final layer of the onion, to find out what truly lies at the bottom of the rabbit hole. We leave the heavy neutrons and the spinning electrons behind, and we dive into the very fabric of reality itself, arriving at the modern understanding of the universe, which is perhaps the most beautiful and poetic of all. In this realm, the idea of solid little balls or hard particles completely dissolves, and we are left with something that looks less like a machine and more like music. We discover that inside the protons and the neutrons, there are even smaller things called quarks, tiny shimmering points of light that are never still
never lonely, always holding hands in groups of 3, dancing a perpetual jig of existence. But even these quarks are not the end of the story, for if we listen closely, if we tune our ears to the frequency of the universe, we begin to hear a low, steady hum, a vibration that resonates through every inch of space. This is the world of string theory, a concept that suggests that at the absolute core of everything, deep down below the atoms and the quarks, there are tiny vibrating filaments of energy, like the strings of a microscopic violin. Imagine a cello sitting in a quiet room, and imagine that someone gently plucks the string, watching it vibrate back and forth, creating a rich, deep note that hangs in the air. Science tells us that everything you see is just a different note played on these tiny cosmic strings. If the string vibrates one way, it becomes an electron, and if it vibrates another way, it becomes a photon of light, and if it vibrates in a different pattern, it becomes gravity. This means that the universe is essentially a grand symphony, a vast ocean of music that is constantly being played, even in the deepest silence. This is the eternal dance of energy, a dance that never stops and never tires, a movement that has been flowing since the beginning of time. As you lie there in the stillness, try to feel this vibration, not as a shaking, but as a soothing presence, a hum of life that runs through your body. The bed you are lying on feels solid and still, but we know now that it is actually a symphony of vibrating strings, humming at a frequency that makes it feel firm to the touch. The air in the room is another melody, light and airy and free. Your own body is a complex, beautiful harmony of trillions of strings, all vibrating together to create the experience of you. This idea blurs the lines between you and the world around you, because if everything is just vibrating energy, then there is no real separation between the sleeper and the bed, between the dreamer and the dream. You are simply a slightly different tune in the same great song.
This is a comforting thought because it implies that you are always in harmony with the universe, that you are always in tune. There is no such thing as being out of place in a universe of vibration, because every note has its purpose, every string has its role. The energy that makes up your spirit is the same energy that fuels the stars and the same energy that flows in the rivers. It is all one continuous field of light and sound. The concept of solid is just an illusion, a very convincing trick that nature plays to give us a place to stand. But tonight, you can see through the trick. You can feel the softness of the energy beneath the surface. Imagine that you are floating on this sea of vibration, like a boat drifting on a calm ocean, where the water rises and falls in a slow, rhythmic swell. The energy supports you, it carries you, it moves through you without resistance. You do not need to do anything to keep this energy going, just as you do not need to conduct the orchestra. The music plays itself. The eternal dance is not frantic or chaotic. It is a slow waltz, a cosmic lullaby that sings you to sleep. The rhythm of this dance matches the rhythm of your breathing, slow and deep, in and out, rising and falling. It matches the rhythm of your heart, bite by bite, pumping the stardust through your veins. It matches the rhythm of the seasons, the coming of winter and the return of spring. Everything is cycles, everything is waves, everything is vibration. The physicists of the modern age look at their equations and they see beauty, they see elegance, they see a universe that is built on harmony. And you can feel this harmony now, settling into your bones, relaxing the tension in your shoulders, unclenching the muscles in your jaw, letting the vibration soothe away the knots of the day.
The energy is warm and golden, flowing like honey, thick and sweet and slow. It reminds us that nothing ever truly stops, that even in sleep there is life, that even in stillness there is movement. This is the paradox of rest, that by becoming still, we align ourselves with the eternal motion of the universe. The strings within you are loosening now, tuning themselves down to the lower frequencies of sleep, dropping from the high pitch of alertness to the deep, resonant bass of slumber. You are becoming a cello that is being put away in its case, the strings still humming faintly with the memory of the music, but the instrument is at rest.
The dance of energy continues around you, spinning the world on its axis, moving the moon around the earth, but you are the silent center of the dance, the point of stillness around which everything turns. The blur of the quantum cloud meets the music of the strings, and they create a soft blanket of white noise, a static that blocks out the worries of the conscious mind. Listen to the silence of the room and realize it is not empty silence. It is the hum of existence, the sound of the universe saying, "I am here, I am real, I am holding you." The quarks are spinning, the strings are vibrating, the energy is flowing, and all is right with the world. You are dissolving into this sea of energy, losing the sharp outlines of your physical form and becoming a wave of pure potential. It is a feeling of immense freedom to be just energy, to be just light, to be just sound. The boundaries of the room fade away, the boundaries of time fade away, and there is only the eternal now, the everlasting moment of the dance. You are safe in this flow because energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. And tonight, your energy is changing from the form of activity to the form of rest. The cosmic lullaby is playing softly in the background, a song without words, a song that your soul understands perfectly. It tells you that you belong here, that you are made of the same music as the angels and the stars. The universe is not a cold, dead machine. It is a living, breathing, singing entity, and you are a verse in its song. Let yourself be carried by the melody. Let yourself drift on the rhythm. Let yourself sink into the vibration. The modern world, with all its noise and confusion, is just a surface layer, a temporary dissonance over the top of this deep, eternal harmony. Down here in the depths of the atom, in the world of strings and quarks, there is only order and balance and peace. You are tuning in to that peace now, turning the dial of your mind until the static clears and the pure tone of sleep comes through. The eternal dance of energy is a dance of love, a dance of connection, a dance of unity. You are one with the bed, one with the room, one with the night. The vibration is slow and steady, rocking you deeper and deeper into the velvet void, where the music becomes silence and the dance becomes stillness. We are nearing the end of our journey now, ready to let go of even the music, ready to drift into the final profound quiet. But we carry this secret with us, the secret that we are made of song. Sleep is the pause between the notes, the silence that gives the music its meaning. And you are entering that silence now, wrapped in the gentle hum of the universe, waiting for the next movement to begin.
And so our long journey through the hidden universe begins to draw to its gentle close, winding down from the high, energetic dance of the strings and the vast explosions of the stars, returning slowly and safely to the quiet sanctuary of your own room, where the shadows are long and the air is still. We have traveled from the olive groves of ancient Greece to the candlelit chambers of the alchemists, and from the rainy streets of Manchester to the silent reaches of outer space. But now the time for travel is over, and the time for rest has truly begun. You are lying in your bed, a familiar island of comfort in the sea of the night, and as you lie here, you can feel the physical reality of the concepts we have explored. Think about the mattress beneath you, which feels so solid and supportive, pushing up against the weight of your body, and realize that this support is a miracle of atomic forces. The atoms of the bed are meeting the atoms of your body, and though they never truly touch, they push against each other with a force of electromagnetic gentleness, hovering in a permanent embrace that we call touch. You are floating on a layer of electrons, floating on a cloud of energy, supported by the invisible pillars of the universe. This realization dissolves the boundary between you and your surroundings, because the bed is made of atoms, and the sheets are made of atoms, and the pillow is made of atoms, and you are made of atoms, and so there is no separation. There is only one continuous field of matter at peace with itself. The struggle of the day is over. The friction of the waking world has ceased, and now there is only this harmonious interaction of forces holding you in a state of perfect suspension. Remember the lesson of the Cathedral, that the atom is almost entirely empty space, vast and open and silent. Allow this feeling of emptiness to seep into your mind now, clearing away the clutter of thoughts, the lists of things to do, the memories of conversations, letting them all drift away into the void. If your body is 99% empty space, then your mind can be too, a beautiful, quiet cathedral where the only sound is the rhythmic breathing of your own body. This empty space is not a lonely place, it is a spacious place, a room with infinite capacity for rest. Imagine that within every atom of your body there is a tiny pocket of silence, a microscopic void where no noise can enter. And tonight you are stepping into that void, curling up in the safe emptiness of your own being. The heavy neutrons we spoke of are anchoring you down, sinking you deeper into the mattress, making your limbs feel pleasantly heavy, as if gravity is hugging you a little tighter than usual. The electrons are slowing their orbit, spinning lazily around the center. Their work for the day is done, and they are humming a low-frequency lullaby that vibrates through your bones. You are returning to the source, returning to the simplicity of just existing.
The great scientists of history, Democritus and Dalton and Rutherford and Bohr, have all closed their books and blown out their candles, and they too are sleeping in the great hall of history, leaving you to enjoy the fruits of their discovery, which is the knowledge that the world is ordered and stable. There are no surprises here in the dark, only the reliable laws of physics that keep the roof above your head and the floor beneath your bed. You can trust the atoms to hold you together. You do not need to make an effort to be you. You simply need to let go and let the universe carry you. The sensation of drifting is taking over now, a feeling of being unmoored from the dock of consciousness and floating out onto the dark, calm waters of sleep. The void is not black and scary. It is velvety and warm, like the inside of a cocoon where transformation happens. As you drift, you can feel the energy of the stardust within you, cooling down, settling into a glowing ember of life that requires no tending. The About Atoms story is no longer a story of science, but a story of you, a story of how you fit into the grand design. You are not small and insignificant. You are a universe unto yourself, a galaxy of particles sleeping in the quiet of the room. The silence around you deepens, becoming a physical weight,
a soft blanket that covers your ears and quiets your mind. The sound of my voice is fading now, becoming just another vibration in the eternal dance of energy, merging with the hum of the night. You are safe. You are loved by the gravity that holds you. You are protected by the strong nuclear force that binds you. Every breath you take is a rhythm of the cosmos, in and out, expanding and contracting, just like the universe itself. The empty space within you is expanding, pushing out the stress, pushing out the worry, making room for deep restorative slumber. You are drifting further and further away from the shore of wakefulness, passing the point of no return, sliding gently down the slope of sleep. The void welcomes you. It embraces you. It offers you a place where nothing is expected of you, where you can just be a collection of atoms at rest. The visual of the cathedral returns one last time, but the lights are dimming, the stained glass is fading to dark, and the silence is absolute. There is nothing left to learn, nothing left to understand, only the feeling of the bed and the heaviness of the eyelids. You are melting into the mattress, the atoms of your back merging with the atoms of the sheets in a soft blur of comfort. The transition is complete. You have moved from the world of doing to the world of being. The void is soft, the void is deep, the void is yours. Let yourself fall, let yourself sink, let yourself go. The stars above are watching, the atoms below are holding, and you are drifting in the sweet, safe space between them. Silence is coming now, a wave of peace that washes over you from head to toe, smoothing out the last furrow in your brow, relaxing the last muscle in your hand. You are stardust sleeping. You are energy resting. You are the empty space finding its purpose. Drifting, drifting, drifting into the quiet, into the dark, into the void, where sleep is the only truth. Good night to the electrons. Good night to the stars. Good night to the atoms. Good night.